All right, let's do it. I didn't want to say all right.
Why?
You told me I couldn't.
Well, I was just saying Matthew might need you to pay him some royalties. All right.
All right.
That's all. I'm just protecting you. Just protecting you.
I watch Austin FC sometimes, so that's fine.
That's how you support him?
Yeah, that's how.
His football team?
Yeah,
soccer team?
Yep.
Football or soccer?
It's the E612 show. You know what that means. It's 612 somewhere. Mm-hmm. Somewhere it's 612. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go live right here, right now. Stick around. We got an awesome show for you. You're not going to want to miss this one.
In front of a live studio audience.
You guys got to calm down.
Yeah, they're excited because we have guests. They can tell because we're on the same side today that we have guests here in the studio. And so they're excited. So let's kick it off. How you usually do. We're
going right into it?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell us what the show's about or not this time?
I can. Do you want me to?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
What's the show about?
The show is about insurance. The home insurance part of the home buying process, where I think people have a lot of questions. And so we're going to talk about that. The guest is really clapping and being really loud because this is his subject. And so, anyway, he can't barely contain his excitement, so you better get started.
Let's go. Before we get into it, repeat after me. Say, I am.
I am.
Warrior Nation. Come on, let me hear you say, I am.
I am.
Somebody.
I am.
I am. A warrior.
A warrior.
Therefore, I am.
Therefore, I am.
Victorious.
And
that's because I am.
A
child of God.
A child of God.
That's it right there. Come on, let's do it.
The Warrior's Creed.
We're excited to have some guests with us on today for today's show.
Yep.
We've had guests for the last couple of weeks, and if you don't understand, this is we're just helping you out on the home buying process.
That's right. Yeah, and I don't know.
This is better than HGTV.
Yeah, because they don't really teach you that. They're just like, this, stay-at-home mom has like $100,000 budget. And so they don't really teach you the process. And they do it in a half an hour.
In a half an hour, the house is done.
Yeah, that's
I wish it was
crazy.
Done in half an hour.
They pulled all the permits, everything in a half an hour. And so I don't know about you, but I've actually had some good feedback.
Is it Joanna and Chip? Mm-hmm. Are they still together?
I hope so. Oh. Yeah, I hope so.
Another couple split, didn't they? Those.
Yeah. Oh. But it's another blonde he's with, so.
But the same.
But anyways, I had some great feedback on these shows.
What is that, flip it or lose it or something?
Something. He lost it, but he got it back. He got another one. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we are on a series. Today we are continuing the series, like you said, for the home buying process. And you may say, well, that's not for me. No, keep listening. Because you know what? I think that if you want to buy a home...
One day it's going to be for
Well, I think a lot of people are closer than they think.
Yeah.
Right? They think, well, I just rent for the rest of my life. And that's, if I own a home, I don't think I'll ever be able to
Throwing away money.
Yeah. But I think that if you start to check it out, look at your finances, you might be surprised. You might be surprised.
Be closer than you thought.
You might. It might not be so out of reach.
You might be there and you're like...
For you. Maybe just a couple years away. And when we talked about it before, might be a few things that you need to clean up, right? Maybe a little bit of your credit, or maybe just saving up some more.
Scratch some things off your credit.
Yeah, or that. And depending on your state, there could be some great programs for you to qualify for. We kind of talked about that. We suggest contacting a great realtor. I don't know if you know of any in the area, but we've had the privilege of walking alongside. Just touching buttons. We have had the privilege of walking alongside with Jeff Burke through this series, educating you, answering your questions. Jeff, can you reintroduce yourself for those that have not gone along the series with us?
Jeff Burke and Associates.
Yeah. All right, Jeff Burke, eXp Realty, been licensed 28, going on 29 years. Wow. Sold over 1,200 homes in the last 5 years alone. Do it at a very high level, very professional level.
Man, you I think you started around the same time I started pastoring.
Wow. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Started young.
Been in the game. Yeah, we've been in the game for a while.
When you guys were 5, you started. That's crazy.
Yeah, we look good, man.
Yeah.
And you both went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Eastern.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Quakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a brick from Eastern right there.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Anyway.
Yeah.
Boo. I don't know if we ever played you.
For it's high heat.
Oh my gosh, you're
It's
going
Easter
into the
high
whole
for
thing.
me. Shout out to number loud and strong. 90.
Okay, keep listening, guys. Don't press stop or pause. Keep listening to the show.
Keep listening.
Jeff was
It's
saying,
gonna be a good one.
No, I was saying that,
Yes.
It's a pleasure being here, putting on this series, which is nice. It's something that I've always wanted to do, is really to take buyers from A to Z through the process.
That's great.
And typically we would do that in person after we have a conversation over the phone. This is great because it gets it out there, like through the process, before you even have to, one, if you're not even thinking about possibly buying a home, as to how to understand the process, make it less scary, so to speak. Where do I start? And then so you kind of know. Like I tell my buyers all the time, it's like, you're not going to remember half of what I say today.
Right.
But that's okay. That's why you have me, right?
Now you say, oh, you have questions on the appraisal process or the insurance? Here's the video.
Yep. And then you know, right? You know the next step in the process, right? And you have a good professional that'll guide you step by step, right? And it just makes it so much easier.
Yep. And they're confident and comfortable in the next step.
And real quick, I just wish that I did it like HGTV. Show you 3 houses, pick one, let's make the deal.
Here's your choices.
We'll go have drinks and dinner or whatever.
Right? And celebrate. It's
beautiful.
They always accept the offer.
3 done.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I would say, right, and you would probably say that a great place to start is just to reach out to a great realtor, right? And I think they can at least give you a direction. And that's why I was saying, I think a lot of people are, maybe one day I'll own a home. Maybe one day, just not today. Because, right, kids or college or, you're single. Well, when I get married, and I think that people kind of sell themselves short, and you don't really know what you don't know. So if you reach out to a realtor, at least you can either help them, find some goals, or give them to a great lender, to kind of help them figure out what they can do, what they can't do.
Well, and the one thing about that is, as I always tell the agents on my team and agents I coach and stuff like that, is that, this might be someone in their whole, generation family, they've never bought a house.
Yeah.
Right? It's always been, I've rented.
Yep.
So they don't know anything different other than renting, right? So, you're changing and creating generational wealth.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
By doing that. So to sit down, have a conversation, and whether it be today, tomorrow, a year, 5 years, whatever, at least you have an idea and you can put together that game plan.
Yeah, that's great.
And what I think is part of the problem is, it could be scary, right? It's a big, huge undertaking. It's a big investment. And so I think some people can be afraid of the process of doing it and not, and thinking
that can never be.
I do, and it's funny because I was just having this conversation with Caleb, right? This past weekend.
Caleb is his son, not the guest.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a second.
Heading up the Grand Rapids market. But when, when I bought my first house, I thought, oh man, there's no way I could pay off a house in, earlier than 30 years, right? And now people were buying cars, for more than what I bought my first house.
Yeah.
For. And you're paying them off in 6 to 7 years.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, I can't pay a house off in less than 30 years, but yet you can pay a car off, which is almost the equivalent of a house back when. Yeah. At times in less than that. Yeah. Right. So it's just that, okay, now I know. Yep. And you take the fear out of it. Yep. Right?
Yep. Exactly. No, that's cool. Yep. So we have the next level of the home buying process. We talked about, the agent. We talked with you. We had a lender on the show.
Before you go there, because
he always stops me right when I'm on a roll.
Right when you're on a roll.
Okay.
Don't forget what you were about to say.
Well, you were coughing, so I was trying to cover for you. What are you trying to say?
Still gonna cough. But no, you're right. It's some people are afraid of, or think, that's a long-term deal. Like it's never going to happen. That's like a future type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I was thinking, well, I don't know if I'm there. And then did the process.
And then you were there.
And then I was there and more than what I thought I would even be there for. Yeah. And so it was like, wow, you think, man, that's something in the future. And then you learn, no. And it wasn't just simple house I could go for. It was a nice house that I could go for. And so that you never know unless you get the ball rolling.
Yep. You at least need to start.
So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that because that's good. That's true.
Yeah.
Some people are afraid to pull the trigger and say, well, I don't know if I'm ready.
Yep.
I don't know because I've got this and I've got that. And then you see, well, I'm not really that bad.
Well, and that's why it's important to contact a realtor that is educated and can educate you and say, okay, you might not be ready now, but looking at 3 to 5 years, if you do, clean up your credit, save X amount, do certain things and actually have you, on a budget or, that kind of thing, it can be more obtainable. And so, I don't know if Jeff will help you with a budget, but at least he'll help you get some goals down and then you can know what you need to work on yourself. And so we talked about with the agent, we talked about it with a lender, we had an inspector on here and the appraisal. And today we are now on to insurance. So can you guest, please introduce yourself.
Wah, wah, wah.
There you go.
There we go.
Confetti.
Yeah, right. Comes out. My name's Cody Harding. I'm
Not Jake?
What was that? Jake? Yeah, State Farm. I have a shirt here. Chef Cody. Cody Harding with Goosehead Insurance. I'm a agency owner for the Harding Agency. We're one of the largest independent insurance brokerages in the country. We're a publicly traded company. We insure everything but health insurance. So
Nice.
Multifaceted, everything.
People can bundle with you.
Yeah, we do everything. But here's a little pre-nugget here. I'll probably say this. This is maybe unknown, but bundling's a myth. And the reason why I say it's like bundle stuff is just because all these insurance companies, they just want to get all your business. So you want to look at like the best combination.
Smart.
When you add up the overall cost of the home, overall cost of like auto, what makes
Yeah.
the most sense combination-wise. If
Yeah.
that's with the same insurance company for both, great, do it. But if it makes more sense to go with one for home, different for auto, do that too.
That's some good information.
Look at that, right?
You heard
there.
it here first.
Heard it here first.
Unbundling.
Yeah.
Unbundling.
Yeah.
30-second knowledge drop.
Yeah.
Boom.
Nice. Mic drop. So how long have you been in the business?
Yeah, the insurance business, been in it for a little over 5 years. But as far as being in sales, it's been a long time.
Yeah. And you're from Grand Rapids originally.
No, originally from South Florida. So grew up in South Florida.
Okay.
Went to Michigan State. Met my wife there at Michigan State.
Do we have a boo button?
Go green.
There we go. Go white.
That's
And
cool.
then moved back down to Florida.
Okay.
For a bit.
They did wear green.
There it is. Yeah, I know.
And
This is-
you were blue.
Yeah,
This is
supporting
for
each other.
this is for money. Green is for money.
Absolutely.
So you met your wife at Michigan State and
Yep.
you moved back to Florida.
Correct.
Okay.
Moved back down there, and then I actually, never saw myself in insurance. Like, I don't think most people go into it thinking like, I'm going to get insurance. Just kind of like through progression naturally gets you there. But we're talking about kind of like how things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So I graduated with a pre-law degree from Michigan State, did an internship. Quickly realized that it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to
Sure.
be. So I went and worked for my family's air conditioning company down in Florida. One thing led to another. Parents split up, and then I started doing some air conditioning through some other companies, and then I was doing, CrossFit in 2011
Nice.
before it was like cool,
You started the trend.
Yeah.
Nice.
But one of the guys there, shout out to David Fleischman. He's a broker down in Delray Beach, Florida.
Cool.
Real estate broker, but he's like, hey, you should get into real estate. You're going to be a great realtor. I'll take you under my wing. So he did that, and that was my kickoff start to
Nice.
being into sales. And so then,
So how'd you move up to Michigan?
yeah, we had our first child in Florida, my boy Hudson, and my wife was teaching, and so she's like, let's move back up to Michigan, grow up, raise a family up there.
No, where's your wife from?
She's from the east side of the state, so she's bounced around from the east side of the state of Michigan.
Oh,
So
she always wanted to be here. You made her move back to Florida. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I don't think you make anyone move to Florida.
It's kind of a different animal down in Florida if you're not
Sure.
used to like southeast
Yep.
Florida.
Yeah.
But I kind of, so she just wanted to be next to the Midwest niceness and,
Yeah.
grow up a little slower and stuff. And I agreed. So
Yeah.
I did some research on the area, and Grand Rapids came up as like one of the
Yep.
up and coming places. And
Yep.
so everything made sense. So we moved there in 2015. And then the plan was to do real estate there, but one thing led to another. And I got into automotive, and then did sales manager, and then finance manager. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to, I guess you could say, operate my own business, you know? And so Goosehead came along and kind of gave the business model. We primarily partner with people in the home buying process, so with lenders, realtors, title people. And I had my background with real estate, and so
Cool. Made sense.
exactly. So everything made sense. But I remember one of the scariest things I had to go tell my wife, like, "Hey, I'm gonna quit my job." She was a stay-home mom at the time. Quit my job. I'm gonna start a business, and I don't have any experience in this particular, business
Field,
field. And it may not work out. We're gonna take our huge nest egg and like live off that for 2 years. Are you cool with that? She was on board though. So here we are, 5 years, over 5 years later, and it's doing really
That's awesome.
well.
Good.
Yep.
How many kids do you have?
Two,
Yeah.
Hudson and County,
That's cool.
11 and 9.
Aw.
Yeah.
And is the office downtown or where are you
We're
located?
in Kentwood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where we're gonna expand. So
Yep.
we're gonna be kind of growing stuff out. So
Grand Rapids is a great place.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
we
that's
love
awesome.
it.
Our oldest daughter lives there.
We were just talking about the new stadium. So how far are you from the new stadium that they're building there?
Really close. I mean, I guess you can say anything in Grand Rapids like a half hour
Yeah,
away.
that's true.
It's like you gotta go somewhere, plan a half hour.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Yeah.
I'd say about a half hour away
Okay.
from
Yeah.
there.
That's
AC Grand Rapids. I'll be there when it opens.
That's what
That's
they're going to
right.
be called?
Yeah, athletic club.
What is their mascot?
They
Don't know yet? Like a boat?
Soccer team joining.
Yeah, that's cool.
MLS Next Pro. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So
excited for that.
are you saying we're going to get season tickets? Is
Probably.
that what you're
He's
saying?
gonna-
All right.
probably gonna
Great.
have- probably
Great.
with the Jeff Burke and Associates side, we need to talk to.
And my people talk to your people.
There we go.
Let's talk
There
to
we go.
everybody. Let's do this.
Something-
And
something
we're all
like
getting a
that.
suite,
We're all getting a suite
It's gonna
you
be
know,
sweet.
for clients. For clients.
for clients.
Yeah.
purposes.
So, what can you tell listeners if they want to pursue this career? I mean, it sounds like you kind of, in a roundabout way, like you're very well rounded, but you sort of kind of stumbled upon it. What if anybody listening is like, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking of that career? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say start young, because it's a long game with insurance. Either start young or have like a nest egg. So like I said, I used a nest egg to kind of float myself to get it going. But with insurance, yeah, it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So if someone wants to get into it, they're gonna have to work hard. And I did my due diligence before jumping. I just didn't just jump in. Obviously, I did like 4 months and almost 6 months of due diligence. But I called around to all the people that were successful and all the people that failed. Number one kind of consensus is that lack of effort. If you're gonna fail, it's lack of effort. So you just gotta put the hours and the time in.
Be ready to
your
work
tail
hard.
off. Oh yeah, bunch of sacrifices, and then once you break through, because with insurance, I don't know if the listeners know this, but it's very small commission up front. You can definitely make more money your first year by selling cars. Tons more money doing that. Each transaction is very, very small, so you got to do a lot of volume of it.
Sure.
But each year, if you have retained that policy, you get paid it again and again and again. So each year, you start stacking on top of what you sold the previous year for that same month, and then you get what's called renewals, and that's how you get compensated, just through renewals. So, yeah. It's easier if you have your expenses low, so that's why I say start young. When you have your expenses low, you don't have like the golden handcuffs. What people say, you got a bunch of obligations. You got a boat,
Sure.
cars, and family, and it's going to be hard to pay your bills early on,
Sure.
or if you had a nest egg. So
Yeah.
I would say do that. Not like I said, not too many people go into it like I want to become an insurance agent.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's through sales and then
Sure.
kind of migrate through there. Except for my new hire. He got licensed while he was in college and did an internship already. And he wants to get into it.
Nice.
So he's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, do you do like a lot? Is it a lot of referrals, or do you do like networking events? How
Yeah.
do you like build your book of business?
The whole business model, like I said, with Goosehead is just working with home buyers. So yeah, it's definitely going out and networking with, realtors, lenders, title, and just getting super entrenched with that. Now it takes a long time to build
Yeah.
up those relationships because you got to get their trust. You got to earn the trust of somebody to have them trust you with their clients.
Right.
And that's a long route, and it
Yeah.
takes a lot of repetition with this. And,
Yeah.
the traditional model with insurance is, either by internet leads or, just post stuff on Facebook. Hopefully people come in and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's not as like sticky business.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of get those clients to close, but also we don't. You get a lot of like what's called rate shoppers, and some people just want like bottom barrel rates, and
Sure.
sell out for like $1 here and there. But with people in the home buying process, they see the value in insurance. They know it has a place,
Yeah.
and they're not as rate sensitive.
Yeah.
They want that good coverage too. So
Yeah.
that's what we do. We make sure they have the best coverage, but also the best prices.
Yeah. That's
So,
good.
So you say you lived in Grand Rapids, but you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm licensed personally in 13 states, but
Okay.
us as a company, we can do all 50 states. We can do all state of Michigan. I mean, the whole state of Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, like everything close around here for sure. So
Cool.
definitely, if anyone is listening out there,
Yep.
we can take care of you.
Nice. Cool.
And what was that again? How do they get a hold of you? Where do they?
Yeah, I mean, you can call me, 616-217-4719. Again, 616-217-4719.
Sounds like you've said that before.
Thousands of times. Yeah, thousands. You can look me up on Facebook. Friend request me. I love to expand my network like that. Even also, you can just Google Cody Harding, Goosehead Insurance. Reach out. We have an online quoting tool. So, yeah, if anyone wants to take a look at it, love you to reach out.
That's cool. That's good. So, you're in Grand Rapids area, and you, Jeff, have office in Grand Rapids as well as the Greater Lansing area. So then, how did you guys start working together?
Yeah, so we expanded into the Grand Rapids market, I think around almost 3 years ago now. And when we're coming in, we made strategic partnerships and kind of like what you're talking about, right? With lenders, and we were introduced. So Caleb is heading up my Grand Rapids market, and we cover 3/4 of the state of Michigan, cover. And so one of our lenders at the time had referred, because we were looking for an insurance connection in the Grand Rapids market, and they had recommended Cody.
Nice.
And Caleb and him have done a lot of business. He's one of our referral partners there that we connect with on the insurance end. And he's had nothing but great things to say about Cody. That's the thing, right? Like it's okay, fine. The rates are good. You can get the great package, but you got to have the person connected to make all that happen as well. Because that's like you had said, the first year is kind of like, second, the renewal. If you're not good at what you do, you're not getting the renewals, right?
Right.
And also the referrals and recommendation, right? And Cody has been that referral recommendation, the go-to, solid, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like what I talked on previous segments, is that the people that we surround ourselves with are green light, red light. There's no in between.
Right.
There's no yellow,
Yep.
right? And that's what we know with Cody is like, you're going to get green light, red light,
Yep.
right?
No,
For it. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's cool.
All right, go ahead. You got some?
No, I was going to say Jeff's done a fantastic job because Caleb is super sharp. He's a very well-rounded young man, and you definitely knocked it out of the park with him, man. He's amazing.
let me tell you something about Caleb. So I worked for Jeff for a couple years until we started having kids, and I was like, I can't do this. But Caleb would show houses. Caleb would show houses like if I couldn't or whatever, and it'd be like older lady clients, and they would be like, "Can Caleb show me the houses again?" And I'm like, "No, I'm your agent." Like that, no. Like they would always like him. And then when we would do calling, we would do cold calls and stuff like that. And somehow he would always just people would answer his call, and I would just get so mad. I'm like, "Caleb, how do you?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just work hard. And so I'm like, "Caleb," but yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's awesome. That's cool.
Definitely good. He takes care of his clients well.
Yeah.
I'm hearing nothing but good things.
That's cool. Good.
All right, so what I like to do is let's dumb it down. All right, let's let the average person in here explain the insurance process when someone purchases a new home. What are we looking at? How do we get there? What are we talking about?
Let me pipe in here a little bit. So in the very beginning, when I'm having my buyer consult, right, we get to the section of insurance, right? And I always say insurance is insurance, right? Go to your provider, see who it is. If you think that number is like way high for you or whatever, you want a second opinion, run it by us. We do it every day. We kind of know what the premiums sound like, right? So we'll put you in touch with a good, solid insurance provider that will compare apples to apples, right? Not apples to oranges, because one of the things is like, I don't do insurance. You don't know insurance, right? I always say it's like everybody's employed for a reason, right? Everybody around me is employed for a reason. So let's put you in touch with a specialist, Cody, that can actually break it down and compare apples to apples, right? And then we kick it over to Cody, right? And our insurance, partners and stuff. So I'll take it from there.
Yeah, 100%. Like, just to add on to that, the price of a policy is like a fraction of the whole policy. And if someone's just looking at the price, and two policies, let me just compare the price, or if they don't know what they're looking at, it's going to be really hard to tell the differences between the two policies, because there's so many different ways because insurance policies are super customizable. So there's so many different ways that someone could manipulate something that may necessarily jump out just to get that price a little bit lower than the next guy, stuff. 100%. So it's very important to know that, price is an important factor in the shopping process, but you also have to make sure that you have someone that you can lean on, that you can trust, that will kind of say, hey, I do this every day. I can look at this, and they have this. We have this. And I always tell my clients that too, because anyone that just, one red flag if you're dealing with an insurance person, I'll kind of give a nugget here too. If they just email over the quote and they just say, in an email, let me know what you think and get back to me, or they do like a short little snippet of something, or very short, and they don't really go over it in detail, explain it, and they're really not doing any favors, because the person who built that policy and sent it over, their risk tolerance could be completely different than the insured's risk tolerance. So it's important to have someone that's like more of a consultative process that gets them involved, tell them reasons why behind certain coverages, reasons why not behind certain coverages, and also make recommendations like, hey, I think there's a blind spot here, or they put this on here and I don't think they need it. Sometimes I see, and this is just for me, like there's a thing called sewer line coverage, and I'll put that on homes that are older than they're built before 1980, because homes built before 1980, they use like cast iron pipes, and those kind of rust out. Typically, anything beyond 1980, they use PVC pipes. So if
those
it's
known
like a
facts.
brand new build, it doesn't really make sense to have like sewer line coverage on that, because it's typically PVC.
Well, and the other thing is, like, as a homeowner, you don't know.
Right.
Okay, this policy looks great. I don't know, they don't know the dollar amount or what's actually being, covered, or what do they need. So they're just relying on you because, I have no idea. So what do I need?
It's very important. Yeah, you got to explain everything. Go through it, every policy, what the coverages mean, everything. Because, here's another nugget here, too, for insurance. Like the dwelling policy, the dwelling coverage amount, that's not determined based on like what you're buying the home for, or what it appraises for, or you can even sell it for. It's all determined based on what it would take to pay a contractor to rebuild the home again. So that number, the dwelling coverage, is always going to be different than maybe what you can sell it for or appraise for. So they don't go hand in hand. So just a little heads up on that one too.
I get that on occasion.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the insurance is going to be $400,000 and I'm buying it for $250,000, and it's like, nah, it's not your value, right? Like everything else, it's gone up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything that homeowners should be aware of with insurance? Like, can insurance prices increase? Give me
Like, once you're locked in, is it locked in, or?
No, it's not locked in. I mean, you're locked in for like typically a year. Now, anytime you get a new home or get new home insurance, the insurance companies will always send out their own third-party inspector after you close on the home. They'll typically come out about 2 to 3 weeks after you close. They only do a visual inspection on the outside. They don't go inside the house, but what they're looking for is anything that could pose an immediate risk for a claim. So looking for broken windows, missing siding pieces, terrible roof conditions. Now, if they come out and they see something, then they have the right to cancel the policy within, depending on, it could be 60 days, 90 days, to cancel it. But then after that, they can't, and it's locked in. Now they can only non-renew the policy when it comes up for renewal a year later. That's about it. But things that could increase, the premium before that, or at renewal time, could be like undisclosed claims. If you have a claim, that will definitely increase the premium. Or like in Michigan, it could be like an undisclosed dog breed, and they come out and say, oh, this is a quote unquote vicious breed. We don't know kind of how it's like a raising animal, but sometimes they call them vicious breeds, and then they can charge an extra premium for that.
So don't get a dog, is what I'm hearing.
You can get a dog. It's if you want to pay more for insurance, maybe. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, breeds do make a difference on that. Undisclosed pools.
All I heard was don't get a dog.
I think there's something a conversation maybe in the past that I'm missing.
What about trampoline? Will a trampoline make your insurance go up?
It's an added risk, yeah. And anyone that does have a trampoline, here's a nugget: consider doing an umbrella policy too.
Okay.
Umbrella policies adds an extra layer of liability coverage on top of that in case there's any kind of catastrophic accidents, and that could not be good in case you get sued.
Okay.
So,
No, that's good. So you said the renewal is like in a year.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what happens after that year?
the policy will be reevaluated. And
Whether we want it to be or not.
yeah, it will. Yeah, whether you want it to be or not. Now, this is where someone could be like, "Why did my insurance increase? I never had a claim. Nothing changed. Stuff
Yeah.
like this.
Yep.
Why did this go up?"
Yep.
Well, insurance companies work on the law of large numbers. Now, they want to diversify their risk just like everybody else does when
Sure.
they want to invest in something. Now, if they're too concentrated in one area, like, hey, we sold a lot of policies in this one area, if a storm comes through, we're going to get wiped out on claims. So
Yeah.
we need to thin these policies out a little bit. So maybe in certain areas they'll start raising prices. Maybe some people leave. That's what they want, or make it worth their time to have the policy. So they'll spread out. They want to be like kind of even throughout certain areas. Now, if there's more risk in certain areas, they want to be thinner in there. So they take everything into account. There's a lot of data that they work off of that affects rates. I was just talking to somebody today who was buying a home in the same neighborhood, and she's like, "Hey, will my rate increase?" I was like, "Listen, there's so much that goes into
Sure.
this.
Yeah.
Like even if 4 houses down, it could be a completely different rate
Yeah.
over
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Because now they're using satellite imageries.
Are there some standard reasons why there's an increase, like things that the average person can look for, or there's not really?
I mean, unless like you have a couple claims, there's not really things. If you've already disclosed everything early on, they came out, did the inspection. There's really no other things like based on what you did that I can really think of that causes the rates to go up.
And do they kind of look at it every year, or
Yeah.
how does that? Okay.
Every year, the policy will, like the dwelling coverage, typically will increase in relation to inflation, building costs too. And then if the coverage amount goes up, then there's other ancillary coverages that are attached to that coverage amount that will also increase, like personal property coverage,
Sure.
loss of use, detached structures, things of that nature.
And that stays with the house, correct?
The claim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so if I sell a house to a buyer and they're buying a house, then they go to get insurance on that house,
Yeah.
multiple claims on that house that could have an
Correct.
effect on
They
that as well.
already know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so basically what Jeff's saying for listeners here is that even though it wasn't your claim, you could be paying a higher insurance for the house that you're buying because of past claims on that house.
Because there's a pool in the basement.
Right. Yeah. Well, they'll look at it and say, hey, this house, let's say, for example, already had, 2 water claims,
Right.
2
Yeah.
pipe bursts.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, maybe there's something wrong with the construction of this house that's caused a bunch of claims. I
Yeah.
don't know. So the last thing that they want to do is, start a policy and then all of a sudden, like a month later, have a huge claim.
Sure.
Because insurance companies, they're a business. They want to be in it to make some money too.
Can you say no?
For what?
For like if somebody, let's say that was somebody's house, like on this road, a couple doors down, it sells every couple years, and
Yeah.
they have a lake every time it rains, right? So I don't know if it's a drain field issue or what, but like
The
can
turnover on this end of this,
Yeah.
is crazy.
and so can you say no? Like if they're like I want to do home insurance through you, and they just there's a lot of claims or there's a lot of flood or what, or do you just do
Okay.
like flood
I see.
insurance?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that? I don't know, how does that work?
I don't really have the choice to say no. I just present the best option.
Yeah.
And then they're like, if you want to buy this policy, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But now, if I feel that someone is not being truthful with like their information that they're coming out with, like, oh no, I don't have a dog, and I hear dog barking in the background or something,
Yeah,
or something that's
they're hiding.
or something,
Yeah.
then I might not feel comfortable writing a policy.
Yeah.
Because you got to have a thing that's called quoting integrity. Like these insurance companies are, counting on you to gather the proper information, put
Sure.
the proper information into their system. And if you don't do that, you're not being a good partner. Mm-hmm. So you got to just be a good person.
Yeah.
Just do what's right. And I do that too. Like if someone has a good policy, and I like their coverages, I like their endorsements, and it seems like a fair price, and I shop them around and pressure test, I'll just say, hey, I like where you're at right now. Just stick where you're at. If anything changes, let me know.
Nice.
Let me know. We'll
Nice.
revisit it again. Landscaping with insurance constantly changes too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And I got some other nuggets too I can tell you guys too. Like certain things that you don't want to do is like, don't put your jewelry on a home policy. Don't do that. Because if there's a claim on the jewelry, it's a claim on your home insurance.
Oh, yeah.
And then rates go up, and then it can hinder you from getting other home insurance if you move.
Sure.
So put on some policies. There's jewelry policies out there. So do that. Make sure you have good water backup coverage. So water backups is like anytime water doesn't go down a drain, it comes back up through the drains. Mm-hmm. That's not covered under a standard home policy. Most people think it is, but unfortunately it's not. If you have a finished basement, do at least $10,000 of water backup. A lot of times people will leave that off, like other agents, because they're just trying to sell the policy as quickly, as cheaply as possible, move on to the next person. Mm-hmm. And they'll highlight what you had, but omit telling you what they left off to get to that price.
Yeah.
So that's an important one, especially in Michigan, happens all the time.
Yeah.
Now, speaking on water, anytime water comes from the outside of the house into the house, that's not covered under a policy. That's just not in Michigan. Let's say a wind knocks over a tree and puts a hole in your roof, and then there's rain coming in. That would be covered typically because the initial damage came from a covered, incident or a peril. Mm-hmm. But yeah, since I'm just talking about this because we had a bunch of rain recently here, and a bunch of people called in like, my basement was coming from this window that's coming through there to cause damage, and unfortunately, that's just not covered. So. And then flooding, in the insurance eyes, we all know flooding is like your basement floods, right? Mm-hmm. And that's terrible. Pipe burst in the house, that's terrible. Water backup situation, sump pump, that kind of stuff is terrible. But flooding in the insurance eyes is like if like a river takes your house away, or if there's like a natural accumulation of rainwater in areas that's normally dried, inundates the whole area, and then water comes to that. Because everyone is in a floodplain. Most people are like, I'm not in a floodplain, but everyone is in a floodplain. It just depends on if you're low risk or high risk. And then you would have to, if you're in a high risk, you have to get flood insurance required to by your mortgage company. But if you're in a low risk, you're not. But you still could buy a flood policy to cover for things that we just had here.
And that's something that they get through you.
Yeah, like I said, we do everything but health insurance, so. We can handle that too. And then while we're on the topic of this, I might as well just say also, we already talked about sewer line coverage on homes built before 1980. We'll look out for that. Some people put on also like equipment breakdown coverage. I don't like that equipment breakdown because there's a claim on your home insurance. What it does is sometimes agents will oversell this and they'll say like, oh, if your AC breaks down, just make a claim on your insurance. So your insurance will cover this. Well, then they could say, this happened because of wear and tear. Because they don't tell you, sometimes people don't tell you that the equipment breakdown coverage does not cover wear and tear. It's one of the few things that's not covered under insurance is wear and tear, except for sewer lines. They do cover wear and tear. That's the only thing. But there's a claim in your insurance. There's a $500 deductible along with it. It's just not a good claims process. I don't like it. So if someone is, if they are concerned about appliances or whatever, get a home warranty. Okay. They do cover wear and tear, and also just get one. I don't sell them, so I don't have a lead on any of these companies. But try and get one that does let you pick your own contractor too.
Yeah.
Wow.
You said something that was really good too, and I told this to Jeff. I don't know if it was last time or the time before, but he has a way of pulling in the right people with integrity, and it sounds like you are too. I liked how you said, if I look at somebody's policy and I'm like, well, you're kind of just fine, I would keep, if I were you, I would keep, keep that. And I think that will take you further in business because your integrity and character speaks for itself. You'll get more referrals, you'll get people to trust you, and that's like the biggest really component of your business is trust and referrals, right? And 100%. So that will, speak for itself. And so, to just commend even now, like he said, now Caleb is pulling in, great people to work with. So you got a great circle, of business, people to work with. And
you always got to do everything right. 100% by the client, customer, everything. Do it right, treat them good, because they're so used to someone trying to sell them something.
Yeah.
If you just tell them, they're so blown back, I can't tell you, like, oh my gosh, really? Just stay where I'm at? Yeah, just stay where you're at. And then, they're going to sit at the barbecue and just tell their friends, hopefully, and spread the good word that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say the tree does go through the house that you mentioned. What do I do now as the...
Yeah. Obviously, in that situation, you want to make a claim for sure. And you can do things that could prevent more damage. That's
should
fine.
you take pictures right away?
Yeah,
like, what should they do?
More pictures, the better. More documentation, the better, for sure. If things are on a weekend, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of, like, insurance companies, and people are always, like, stressed out. What do? I don't know if it's covered or not. Now, a good way to think if something is covered, remember this. Did it happen suddenly, and did it happen accidentally? 95% of the time, it's going to be covered, on home insurance.
Yeah.
But I always get a question like, I don't know, do I call someone to get this taken care of right now on a Saturday? Yeah, call somebody, get it taken care of, make sure you stop the damage, especially if there's water damage.
Yeah.
And then just take a bunch of pictures, and then call on Monday, start a claim, call in, hey, this damage happened, I had to call this person, and that's fine, all right, go ahead.
Because you're saying if it's the weekend, they want to wait to have somebody come out and look at it, right, before they get it fixed, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to hesitate on it, and now they're out. It's going to be super inconvenienced, stuff.
So take lots of pictures.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, for sure. Now, this all goes back to the same thing, like water backup. Like, that's not covered under standard policy, so make sure you have some sort of coverage on it, just in case some pump stops.
Sure.
You're covered for that kind of stuff, because otherwise, if you don't have that on the policy, you could be on the hook to pay that out of pocket, especially on, like, the weekend, Saturday, get some remediation company coming in there, put some air scrubbers, fans. It could be kind of pricey.
So if you're in the home buying process and Jeff's walking you through a home and you're looking at the seller disclosures and you see that it says, the basement did have water in it, yes, but we got it fixed. Maybe if you are purchasing the home, maybe you should get some sort of kind of different insurance. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely get some good water coverage. Most homes will have what's called a sudden and accidental coverage up to the dwelling coverage amount. That's fine. Like, sudden and accidental, that's usually standard on a policy. But yeah, make sure you have some good water backup. Hidden water damage too. That's
so basically just call you.
Right? I'll guide you through. We can see past claims for sure too.
Yeah.
But
so I have one more question.
Yeah.
Usually insurance is rolled into the mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Is there any other way to do that?
You could pay for it out of pocket, but if you pay it in full, most insurance companies will give you the same discount. Now, there are some insurance companies that give you more discounts if you pay it outside the escrow, but typically, you guys probably had a mortgage guy on here, I don't know if we talked about this, but they're going to make you escrow.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
We did talk about escrow when he was on. Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of times, buyers got to pay for the policy up front for the first year, and then the second year, it's in your mortgage, in escrow.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, right? Which I think is key here, because when a buyer is searching out for insurance, obviously the deductible matters.
Yeah, big
right?
time.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Huge.
the higher the deductible, maybe the lower the premium, just depends. But I always say, and I'll let you kind of pipe in, is have that money available, right?
Yeah.
So kind of your emergency fund money, but if something does, then you've got it. So I'll let you
Yeah, because there's an all peril deductible on home policy, and there's a wind and hail deductible on the policy. If it happened anything other than wind and hail, it's going to go in the all perils deductible. Average deductible in Michigan is probably around $2,500. I would say right about now is about $2,500. You can get as low as $1,000 for all perils. Sometimes there's minimum deductibles. I know Citizens has a 1% wind and hail deductible. But also to double check this, because you get some of these big name companies out there, and they could have an agent that's selling you the policy in Texas. In Texas, a 2% wind and hail deductible is standard. Sometimes it's 3%. When they see 2%, 3%, they think, oh, that's maybe the damage, a percent I got paid for the damage. No, that's not. That's 2% of the dwelling coverage. So I saw a USAA policy with an $18,000 wind and hail deductible. At that point, you're pretty much like self-insuring yourself because it was on a 2% deductible basis. But in Texas, where they're primarily located out of, that's standard. But they don't know in Michigan, it's different.
So real quick, because I see, right, it's like, you kind of gloss over with these numbers, like, what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
If you got something major happens, you have to pay $18,000 upfront for that deductible to cover, and the rest is covered, right?
Yeah.
So
Before insurance kicks in, you pay $18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're basically self-insuring.
What's
right?
the point?
But if it's, geez, you went from like 500 to 1,000, now it's 2,500, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you about the cost of times.
Yeah.
Right? You know, with it, for it, but it's like, okay, that happens. This is what I have to pay in order to, start to claim anything beyond that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's important. Just make sure you have a deductible that you're, like Jeff said, that you're comfortable with, that you can
Right.
afford in case like an emergency fund.
Yeah.
If something does happen.
Yeah,
That's
that's good.
Any final thoughts? Any final things you guys want to share before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, I got two. It's outside the home, just for like insurance nuggets. Don't make a roadside assistance claim on your auto insurance. It's a claim on your insurance. Your rates go up. Don't do it. Just take it off your insurance policy. If you want coverage, just get like a Good Sam roadside assistance, coverage package on there. And don't get your windshield chips filled by insurance. Just pay for out of pocket. That's another claim, because they don't really, insurance companies don't necessarily rate so much on like those types of claims, but they do rate on claim frequency. And so if someone has like, 2 tonings and 2 windshield chips, and they're like, why is my insurance rate so high? On auto insurance, it's because of that. So little nuggets right there before you go.
Good tips.
Great
Cool.
tips. Anything else, Jeff, you have for us?
I would just say what I have been saying, right? Whoever you work with, make sure that they're just solid and they've got great, solid, referral partners and everything. I know that our referrals over to Cody and our people in our network are representation of me, right? And how we operate. And like you had said, it's like, I want somebody that will say, you're good.
Yep.
You don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get in and list a house and it's like, you know what? Or a buyer may want to buy a house and it's like, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best thing for you.
Yeah.
Right? There's another option, another way. Right? It's like Cody doesn't necessarily have to sell another policy, right? Because he's got enough referrals and everything, coming in. I don't necessarily have to sell another house, right? It's like, but I get to, right?
Yeah.
By doing good business.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
That's good. Any final words?
No, we're good. Shout out to Vibra Radio for listening in the Chicago area. So, hey, if you're in Illinois, you can call him.
Yeah,
Illinois listeners, Chicago listeners.
What is the numbers we can get a hold of you guys one more time?
616-217-4719.
And that's what?
That's directly to me. Okay. Get it right directly to me.
I can be reached at 517-204-3311. You can email me at jeff@jeffburkeassociates.com and jeffburkeassociates.com for the website.
Jeff Burke and Associates. You've been listening to the E612 show. Man, it's been great couple shows.
Yeah, it's been good.
Go out and buy a house. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Get off your couch. Stop Netflixing and chilling. Do it today. Warrior out.